Hello everyone and welcome back to Fangame Tuesdays. So today we are going to be playing Shining Shooting Star. So this is a Chinese Touhou fan game. I forgot who the creator's team was named, but I know it's a Chinese fan game. And it was made in the summer of 2016, so it's a relatively new fan game. This game does not run on current Windows 10 systems though, and its original state because of an update. I don't know if it was fixed or patched, but I do know that a fan-made English patch can fix that and allow you to play the game again. So that's why I've got the English patch going, because it actually lets me play the game. I forgot where I got this patch because I got it last year, or earlier this year. So, I'm sure you can find it on Maidens of the Kaleidoscope or Moria Shrine or one of those websites. Anyway, this is definitely one of my favorite games, fan games. I don't think it's better than BOSM though. I have a really big soft spot for BOSM, but this is definitely a top-notch fan game in my opinion. It's gorgeous, the music is good, the difficulty balance is amazing. It is better than any fan game I have ever played in the limited amount of fan games I have played. I think HNY playtested this game, and he's like a really good Chinese player that has a bunch of like LNNs and all these really good shmup clears, so you know, it's no wonder that it would turn out pretty balanced. Even like the little animations, like look at the game start, how there's like little stars hovering over, and how you've got shooting stars in the background. Like everything just seems so top notch and pretty, and I'm gonna rave on about it because I like this game. So then, we will be doing Lunatic Mode, and we'll be doing No Bomb, of course. And so, who do we have to play as? We have Reimu, Marissa, Sane, and Koishi. Now, Koishi might be a bit of a weird choice, but actually not so weird, as she was in Hopeless Masquerade and You Lil. She was also in a popularity poll, like #1 in one of the popularity polls. I think it was either 2015 or 2016. And yeah, so Koishi has been getting a lot of love lately. We're going to be playing as Reimu. Because you know me, I always choose Reimu. But don't worry, because this game's extra is a bit interesting in the sense that there is a different extra mode for like every character. So I may show all of the characters' extras. I'm not entirely sure. I probably will. I did it for Marine Benefit, so I should probably do that for this game too. But I don't want to make any concrete promises that I might not keep. Anyway. Oh, one more thing. You might notice Reimu isn't alone in this game. If you choose Reimu, you're actually choosing Reimu and Shinmyomaru, so it isn't just Reimu, it's both of them, basically. It's like a team, whereas everyone else is a solo. It's a weird situation, but I really like the Reimu Shinmyomaru duet because they work really well together. So then, why don't we go ahead and get right in? So yes, if you're unfocused, you've got the homing amulets, and then when you focus, Shinmyomaru will appear, and she'll just be your needle shot. Yeah, she acts as the. They're not persuasion needles, I guess, but it's cute. Anyway, this is stage 1, so we are obligated to talk about how this game system works. So this game has a border system. It's not like a copy of PCB or anything, though one of the borders do work pretty similarly. So in order to get your borders, you have to fill up this gauge on the bottom left of the screen. And you can fill up that gauge by collecting items, by getting cancels, and by gathering stars. These stars will spawn when you kill certain enemies and after you finish boss patterns. And I completely failed to get my borders, so let's reset. And there are 3 different colors of borders in this game. There are red borders, there are green borders, and there are blue borders. Now, when you get a red border, your main shot will be powered up, and when you grab red stars, you'll get a life piece. When you grab green stars, you'll get bomb pieces, and when you get green borders, it'll act like the PCB borders in the sense that if you get hit, you won't lose a life. However, you will lose a life if you get hit during a red or a blue border, so do keep that in mind. Now the blue borders are just score borders, so I'm not really sure what other effects they have other than just helping out your score and your point item value. I don't think there is anything else that they do. Now, I do want to talk about the stars, even though we haven't actually spawned a star on screen yet. But the stars, when they do spawn, it's important to note that they change color while they move down the screen. On the first third of the screen, they'll start off as blue stars, but then they will change to red stars, and then on the last third of the screen, they'll change it to green stars. Now, the first border you get will always, or most likely, be green, unless you don't get the border by this point and grab one of the stars. But yeah. The first border you'll likely get is that green border, but when you grab a star, as in right now I grabbed it as red, your gauge changed red, which means the next time I fill this gauge up, it will become a red border, which means I'll get that attack bonus and all of that good stuff. Oh boy, I completely failed this part, but it should be okay. Now, the mid-boss spell is a little bit random. It kind of reminds me of that one Shizuha spell, but anyway, mid-boss done. I think I can still get all the borders for this stage, but I'm not going to cry too much if I don't. So why am I so concerned about making sure I get all the borders? Well, this game has a last word system like IN. The requirement obviously isn't gathering time orbs, because those don't exist in this game. The requirement is to get a certain number of borders complete by the end of the stage. Or by the end of the boss fight, which I am miserably failing at. It's okay, this boss's last word is really mean, so I don't want to do it. But yeah, maybe we'll show it in stage 2 if we unlock it. Anyway, stage 1 boss, you can safe spot this first non. Just remember that after 3 waves you have to move up. For a second I thought it was 4, so I moved back down, and that, well, I thought it was 3, and then I realized she wasn't moving, so I was like, oh, maybe it's 4. Then I moved back down, and then she rammed me. I guess there's a little bit more time than I thought that she stays down there before moving up. Oops. It's okay. I'm actually not mad at that because it gives me an opportunity to show off the last spell. So yeah, let's try to get our borders right this time. A key thing in this game is to get really good cancels. And do note that if you have a border active, the cancels you get won't do anything for you. So do keep that in mind. Give me my border. It's okay, I'll just get a really good cancel here, although I don't know if I can still get the border. Get towards the middle, please. Aww. I kind of messed up before the boss. I tried. I think I can still get all the borders, though, even with this mistake, because I think I've done it before. I don't think you have to get the border. Oh no, you do. You do. You do. Oh well. Okay, let's reset. I really want to get all the borders, so we're gonna reset. I know. I'm drawing out this episode, but I do want to show it off, and it's no big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. Hey, more content. I'll bet repeated content. It's more content. I will say, though, that I'm not a fan of this game's last word system. I actually have a lot of negative things to say about it, though I'll probably get into that later when we actually fight the last words. You want to kill these enemies to actually fill up your gauge, which I didn't do. I was waiting too long to kill the middle fairy, and that's why I didn't actually get the border. I think, well, actually, all of the stages are pretty tricky to get the thing on, except for like stage 3 and 2. Anyway, I will not cancel the boss attack until my border's over, because I would lose out on the cancel, and you don't really want that. Oh yeah, and I got an extend. You get a lot of extends in this game, actually. It's really easy to get lives in this game. All you gotta do is just collect those red stars. And as you'd imagine, there's a million of those red stars, because, you know, there's a lot on the stages, and then every boss attack you get one. So yeah, it's a bit overkill, but hey, no big deal. Very useful, especially for a no bomb clear, where you can't bomb. Alrighty. And I got 3 power, exactly 3 power, which is nice. Alright, so I'm gonna showcase this safe spot. This actually isn't that hard, so you don't really have to safe spot it, but I just want to show it off. Okay, I know why I got confused. It switches. It's 3 on every odd wave, and then 4 on every even wave. Yeah, it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's so weird. 1, 2, 3. Oh god, I don't know why I wanted to show off that save spot so much. I just did. Anyway, this first spell has a lot of bullets, although it is static. However, you'll most likely want to time it down for a good cancel if you care all about getting your borders and stuff. Which I most certainly will attempt to do, albeit probably not successfully. Or maybe I will do it successfully. Okay. I don't know why, but I feel like talking like Toad from Mario Kart. Okay! Wait a bit, get cancel. Yeah. Unfortunately for no bomb clear, it's really hard to get all borders, so I'm probably not going to succeed on every stage. Probably not going to succeed at stage 5, honestly, because that's the hardest one. Anyway, we already succeeded at this stage, and you can tell because I got 4 borders, although obviously the requirement's going to get worse each stage. Alright, so here's the last word. You can die during this, which is what I hate about it. Yeah. The last words in this game could kill you, so you go through the trouble of unlocking them, and they actually are risky. And this particular last word is one of the hardest ones in the game, and it's the stage 1 last word. Like, I'm not even joking. This might be the hardest last word to capture outside of like the final boss. It's a thing. But I did cap it, which is nice. And you get a max spell card bonus from doing so, which is cool. So now we are in stage 2, and look at that gorgeous background. God, this game is so gorgeous. My borders instantly. Okay, so I'm not gonna kill this thing instantly. You'll see why. I wanted to have that star, but I wanted to have that star after my border was over. So if I had killed that enemy instantly, I would have gotten the star before my border ran out, and then I wouldn't have been able to actually get the border I wanted. So yes, it was very important to me to make sure that I killed that star right. I had to get another border. Unfortunately, I kind of wasn't able to move up during this part, so I missed the opportunity to get a red star there, but it's okay. There's plenty of red stars to go around. Don't feel too bad if you miss a red star, because remember, this game is very, very generous on the livestock. You have many opportunities to get lives. You have many enemies to kill to get lives. You'll be okay. Not to mention the number of bombs you can get if you want to. Alright, so we're on track with our borders, although I won't want to finish this off until my border is complete. Like right there. Timed perfectly. I didn't even have to wait. Mid-boss spell is a little bit tricky, but it's not too bad. Not too bad, not too bad. So yeah, the reason I really wanted to use Reimu was because I really love how good she handles the stages. Sane is technically better in damage output, so Sane would be a lot better at the boss fights. But I really adore how Reimu handles the stages, so I just prefer Reimu. I'm just so used to Reimu. Did I mention that all Sunflower Fairies give cancels? I don't think I said that, but yeah, you will always get cancels from Sunflower Fairies. Some of them cancel the entire screen, some of them just cancel the bullets around them, it depends. Anyway, let's go ahead and fight our boss, Rakuki. I used to call her Arrow Girl. I should still call her Arrow Girl. Our first non-spell is very fast, and it might surprise you if you don't know what's actually coming. But then once you know what's going to happen, you'll be okay. Of course, you want to make sure that when you kill it, you get some cancel, obviously. Alright, so the first spell is just a rip-off of the Yatsuhashi thing from ISC. Yeah, I don't know why they copied it. It's not that hard, though. As long as you misdirect it once. And Reimu makes it really trivial because Reimu has the added bonus of homing. Alright. Now, the second spell can be a little bit tricky if you don't stay under her because it just lasts a long time. But with Reimu, even if you're not really being particularly aggressive, you have homing, so you can still damage her really well even if you're far from her. Another good thing about Reimu. Reimu is just really good at this fight in general. Alright, so this spell, I like to misdirect it, but I don't know if that's really the best way to handle it. It's the way I like to do it. Oh my god, I died as soon as I said that. I feel like an idiot now. I should have just stayed at the middle. We won't get to see the last spell because I died. If you die, I mean, if you break a border, then you don't get to see the last spell. Forget what I said about misdirecting. You don't actually want to misdirect. You just want to stay in the middle and go to the side and then move back in the middle. You don't have to dodge the first tip of the middle inside of the middle. It's been a while since I played this game. The last time I actually played it seriously was in April, which is when I got the 1-miss snow bomb. And no, I'm not gonna go for Ellen. I don't really care. Well, we're in stage 3, so might as well do stage 3 things. So, if you couldn't tell so far, if you haven't memorized where the enemies are going to spawn, you might have a bit of trouble because they'll fire a lot. I do have everything memorized though, so I'll be fine. For this part, I like to kind of go to the side a bit, and then the stars will just misdirect to the side where you are. And then kill as many enemies as you can. The game will POC all those items for you. This spell is a bit weird. I don't really understand how to do it too well. I always die to it just because I don't know how to read it. Something about things aiming around you, but I don't know. It's been too long. And then this spell is even harder because it's really random, and this stage 3 mid-boss is actually pretty difficult for a stage 3 mid-boss. Like, she's really hard. I hope I at least died after my border so I didn't lose the last spell, but I probably had a border when I died, so just to slap me in the face. Also, this fairy has a lot of HP. What the hell? I don't remember having that much HP, but okay. Well, at least we can fight the stage 3 boss. I am not thinking today. Stage 3 boss with adorable non-spell gimmicks. Her gimmick is the whole thing about the leaves, and they like to bunch together. So for her first spell, you have to misdirect it. If you don't know that, you're likely going to die. It takes forever to actually aim at you, though, which is kind of annoying. Well, it's just annoying on the first wave, because I thought she was going to aim sooner, so I stayed to the side for a really long time and almost missed the thing. It's okay, though. You might notice as you go along that it gets a little bit harder to actually get the red stars because bosses kind of like push you away at their nons. So you might have a bit of trouble with that. Like here in particular, going up for the red star is really risky because of how fast these come down. So I had to get it as a green. Also, that spell's a little harder than I remember. Like right now, I would totally love to get that as a red, but again, it just is risky. I'm surprised I didn't get the border here, but I can still get the border from the next attack, so it'll be okay. Yeah, we'll get the border from here. Alright, I do want to get this as red though, because I want to get lives. And yeah, that's the end of this. Well, not the end of the boss fight, because we still got the last word. Alrighty. Now for the last word. I don't really know how to do this one too effectively. I just kind of bottom hug and move to the side when I notice one of the butterflies is coming towards me. It's really not that difficult. Still sucks that you can die during last words. I'll never get over that. That's like the one flaw that I really hate. Like, if this game didn't have that little bitty flaw, I would have been so fine with its system. But the whole dying for last word thing just, it upsets me. I really hate that. Anyway, stage 4 is a bit weird because you like transition from the forest to this creepy mirror place. Alright, so this stage is pretty hard to get all of the things, and pretty hard to get all of the last words. To get all the borders. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. I can't talk properly. Rip me. Wait, maybe? Why don't I have the border? Oh my god, why don't I have the border? I think I messed up already. Oh boy, that sucks. Anyway, this part is a bit annoying if you don't know what's coming. But it is just memo. This entire stage is just there to scare you and try to be tricky and edgy. But it's all memo, and yeah, I am not getting my borders. I've already really messed this up mostly. So I'm probably not going to get the borders for the last word. What a shame. I genuinely tried, but on the later stages you're going to have trouble getting the last words. That's just kind of how it is. The end of the stage is kind of a meme, though. It's not really too bad, but there is a part coming up that's a little bit annoying. Get that. Oh, maybe I will get the border. Never mind. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, we're fine. I was a little concerned there. I didn't know if I was getting enough borders. I didn't even talk for the most of the stage. I feel bad for that. Anyways, I did go through the stage without dying, so I hope that's a kind of an explanation as how to do it. So why don't we go ahead and fight, what's her name? Kage, which means Shadow. She is a gimmick stage 4 boss, and she'll change. I think almost all of her spell cards change depending on the character you're playing as. It's one of those bosses, although that's pretty typical for stage 4, you know, Pacholi, Satori, etc. Ben, Yatashi, A-shot, B-shot. Her non-spells are kind of cute, although her first two spells are really weird, because it feels like with all of the characters, it's just random dodging and nothing else. Like, yeah, it's just kind of like a random dodging pattern. I don't really get it myself, because I don't even think it changes that much depending on like the character that you're using. So it just kind of feels like a really weird pattern, and I don't know what to feel about it. I mean, they're not really that hard patterns, and they're kind of cool looking. She has this whole gimmick where her bullets can like hide in the background, and those don't have hitboxes. So sometimes you might not know which ones have hitboxes and which ones don't. And then there's the whole thing with, because the bullets have such low transparency, they can blend in with each other. Overall, a weird gimmick. Like, see, on this spell, they're kind of hiding together, so they can kind of confuse you. Again, this is just another random dodging spell, which, again, just cluster randomness. Like, eh. Anyway, for the Reimu exclusive spell, you've got this weird spell that revolves around Reimu's bomb. Yeah, it's literally just Fantasy Seal. The way you do this is by doing a lot of misdirection. Now I'm doing this at a pretty slow pace, so you don't have to be this timid, but I like to play it safe, so I like to be timid. The important thing is that you're just moving after you, after one of the things explodes, and that you're going in some kind of triangle formula. Alright. Now for a trivial timeout spell, this entire attack can be safe spotted, so don't even bother trying to dodge it. This is supposed to be based off of Shinmyo Maru and her needles and knives and stuff like that, but yep, you can safe spot it. Kage loses her hitbox during this timeout, which I don't even know why she does, because if she didn't lose her hitbox, she wouldn't be able to safe spot this. I guess it's because it's a timeout, but it's just ridiculous. Hey, I'm not complaining though, because this spell's a little bit BS, honestly. It's just hard to read. Oh, but she can gain her hitbox back and then kill you. I've never had that happen before, though. I've never actually rammed into her. That sucks. Whatever. And then the last spell is just Memo. I don't even have it memorized, so I might die. It's been way long since I've actually played this. Looks like we got it. Still bummed that I died. Kind of annoyed me. I died because she gained her hitbox again and hit me. Anyway, her last word thing is just random spam that changes direction. It's actually a little bit difficult, surprisingly. It isn't too bad. I still capped it. Alrighty then, and you better make sure that your gauge is almost full but not completely full before walking into stage 5, because otherwise you're gonna miss the stage 5 boss last word. So stage 5 is the hardest stage to actually get the last word in. So the stage itself starts off with these aimed things coming from the sides of you. Yep, there they are. You could just move up. Alright, so this is the stage where all the action happens. You thought stage 4 was active. This stage is even more crazy. Yeah, this stage is nuts. I kind of like it though. Well, minus the part at the end, but it's a pretty cool stage. Really active. This part here's a little bit random and cucky, but not too bad. The stars lose their hitbox as soon as Rakuki appears, by the way, so don't worry about that. Now, her non-spell's going to be left-right movement, but it's a bit tricky because she'll move during it, so then, like, your tempo will have to change. Like, you'll have to move a bit differently once she moves, but once you know that, it's fine. The spell card is very random and annoying, but hitboxes in this game are generally small. Of course, I don't get away with it because I never get away with anything, but I should have captured that. Now for the second half of the stage, which is the real hard part. Well, I say hard, you can cancel these things, but it's very hectic and you really have to be on top of these big fairies, because if you're not, you're really gonna get screwed. You need to be really active, you need to move around, you need to gather stars, you need to do things. It's really crazy. Alright. And I think I had a border when I died to Rakuki, so I'm not actually going to get to see the last word, unfortunately. Oops. This part's annoying, and I don't really know how to do it efficiently. I often die to it. It's really random, and I don't really know how to do it efficiently. Looks like I captured it there, but like honestly that just felt like luck. This part here, you'll want to be tempted to go to the POC to get a border, and you probably should at one point. Then the very end, I'd wait before your border runs out to kill this thing. And then she'll drop green items, which I don't know what those green items do. I've never seen them in action, but yeah, green items will drop from that last fairy, which is kind of weird. Anyway, now for the stage 5 boss. which a lot of people feel like is the real final boss. Also, people like to call her, I don't know what her name is. Starts with a P. Petunia, something like that. Palutena, based on some character in some other game. Oh, I wasn't gonna get the border anyway because I screwed up on Rakuki, so I don't really care. Doesn't really matter. My cancels don't matter. This fight is a bit weird. It feels like it should be easy, but it's a little bit annoying. Like, I don't particularly like this fight at all. The Nons themselves like to involve a lot of bubbles. You'll often see her using her familiars. Yeah, this fight really revolves around her familiar usage. On this spell here, it gets a little bit easier if you kill one of the familiars before you start rotating. That's what I always like to do. The whole thing is that this is supposed to obscure your vision a bit, so it gets a little bit tricky. But if you kill one of the yin-yangs, then it gets a little less dense and it's not as obnoxious. No, let's not go for the cancels. Let's not go for the cancels. I went for the cancel anyway. Ah, screw me. I wanted the cancel. Anyway, oops, I already fucked this up. This last non-spell punishes you for moving on it. During the initial waves of this non, you're not supposed to move. And if you do move, it's supposed to be very little. Because the bullets that she fires next will aim depending on how you move on the first wave. So if you move a bunch, you're guaranteed a wall. Yeah, and if you didn't know that, then haha, screw you. The laser spell, this spell is absolutely trivial. You'll never actually get walled on it because you have so much time before the laser actually fires, and you can even misdirect it so that the laser goes along with the hearts, so really this spell's kind of a joke. Not that I'm complaining. This spell's also kind of a joke because it can completely be trivialized by going really high up the screen. The thing is that the yin-yangs normally block your shots, but you can go over them to do damage, which allows you to kill this spell super quickly, basically negating any type of threat it has. And then the last spell is a bit weird because at the very first wave, she fires this blue amulet wave that like disappears for a second and then reappears. So if you're at the bottom of the screen, you're gonna die, but if you're a little bit higher, you'll be fine. It's just there to cheap shot you if you don't know about it. And then the very last wave of this spell's a little bit luck-based because I don't care what anyone says, if those stars decide to screw you over by going in your lane, you're dead. It doesn't seem to happen that often, but it's still annoying. Unfortunately, I can't showcase the last word because I died on the mid-boss, but whatever. Let's just fight the final stage. So, final stage opens up with this death fairy that dies before anything actually really reaches you, so it's kind of pointless, but not complaining. Now this stage portion might be the hardest stage portion to not die on, actually. Not because of these early bits. These early bits are easy, but do beware. Also, if you want to get max borders, which I really recommend going for in this last stage, you'll want to hold off on killing that so that you can get this star while you don't have a gauge already full. I'm gonna go ahead and get blue, I don't care. Oh, I think blue auto collects. Alright, now for the rain, the lol-K rain, except it's diagonal this time. Yeah, this is a direct reference to the lol-K rain. It's obviously a reference. My strat is to try to stay at the bottom right corner and then move towards the center if I have to, but otherwise try to just hold my ground. It's a little easier than the lol-K rain, but it's still a bit cucky. I like to say cucky a lot. Alright, this part is awesome because it times to the music. I like it. It's such a cool effect. These big fairies will cancel when you kill them, so what you'll want to do is you'll want to like... You'll want to move out of the lane when you kill one. Yeah. And then the very end of the stage, you'll want to stop shooting after you kill the initial enemies. because if you kill these, they'll fire suicide bullets at you. So yeah, stop shooting after a bit. And then there will be a bunch of stars coming down. Obviously, for patterns like these, the general idea is to not bottom hug. And the background stars don't hurt you. They're not actually bullets. Don't worry about them. I thought they were bullets too when I first played, and I panic bombed when I didn't need to. Alright, I really need to make sure I don't break any borders and get the best cancels, because the last word for the final boss is a bit different than the other bosses, and I really want to show it off. So this is Tensei. Very difficult final boss. She kind of reminds me of Junko, except like way better balanced. That's what some people have said, that this final boss is basically what Junko would be like if Zoom did it right. But I'm not going to get into a Junko debate, because you all know how I feel about her if you watch my streams. So why don't we go ahead and fight her? She opens up with like her hardest attack, which is really silly. This non is just really fast and confusing, and honestly, it's just a test of raw dodging. Now, this first spell, you have two options. I don't really know which option is better, because both options kind of rely on good RNG. So when this orange thing starts, you can either stay in the middle or you can go to the side. I've tended to stay in the middle more nowadays, but you can go to the side. I'm not going to kill this instantly though, because I want to wait for the orange wave to spawn again so I can get a better cancel, because, you know, I want to get the borders. Get the borders. In fact, I'm probably gonna wait until my border dies before finishing this off too, because again, I really want to get my borders. Alright, and this spell's silly. It's literally just an intimidation spell and nothing more. It's a blind killer where if you don't know what's coming, you're gonna die, but as soon as you know how this works, you'll be fine. It's silly. Make sure to kill it on the purple wave or the orange wave. It doesn't matter which one, just make sure you're killing it in one of the big waves so you can get good cancels. Now the third non, you'll want to like go to the side and then start moving in the center with it. That's how I do it. I think it's the best way to handle this, but I guess maybe there's other ways too. But this is the way I'm going to handle it. Alright, now, if you thought the stage was a reference to the Lol K Rain, this is an even bigger reference to the Lol K Rain, because it's literally just the Lol K Rain, except no streaming. The stars just go down. Oh my god, it's silly. And then the angle of the star depends on your angle to the boss, so keep that in mind. If you move a lot in this spell, you're gonna have to dodge a lot of weird angles, and it might not be fun for you. And then the last non-spell's kind of a jerk. It's just crisscrossing, but these things can be a little bit annoying to read. Yeah. Alright. And then this spell, which is very interesting. The first two waves revolve around these curvy things. And then there'll be a laser section transition after this spam. There'll be a laser section. And then after the laser section, you just repeat it. And it looks like I got max borders, so we will be seeing the TLB. Awesome. That's all I wanted to make sure of. I just wanted to make sure that we got to see the TLB, because I don't really care too much about the other last spells, but, you know, this final boss has a TLB, and you cannot fight the TLB unless you actually get all the borders. So, she has a survival, which is really easy. The yellow wave is aimed at you. It's all just Memo. The green wave is SoEW. This is completely memorization. It's not really difficult. I think it's even static, and if it's not static, it might as well be static. Alrighty. Yeah, easy, easy. Alrighty. I keep saying already. Already. Her last, well, quote-unquote last spell is really cool. It has multiple phases to it. It has 4 phases. One for every color, and then the last phase is every color combined. Oh, how cute and symbolic. The first 2 phases are pretty easy. The third phase is probably the most annoying phase, actually, because it involves, like, walls and lanes, and I don't like this phase too much. It never really walls you, but I suck at it, because I hate these types of patterns. I really don't like dodging them. I really, really hate these types of things. Not a fan. The last phase is my personal favorite. It's really cool looking. You've got the green stars coming from the bottom. However, you do get a warning because the laser spawns will show you where the green stars are coming from, so you can accurately get away from them pretty well. You've got random blue star. Well, the blue stars move in like a pattern, like a lane, and then the red stars are random. So everything kind of comes together in this really nice harmony, and it's not even that hard. It's well balanced. Alright, now for the TLB. So she has 3 spells, not just one. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I could show this off, because if I didn't get all the borders, I wouldn't have been able to show this, and that would have been a real shame, because again, there's 3 spells, not just one. So the first spell is a bit silly. It keeps the money keeps climbing higher, like the more the time goes. I don't really know what happens if you try to time it out. The second spell's kind of annoying. It's a bunch of explosions. It's memo trash though, so yeah. Except I don't really know how to do that second wave with the yellow stuff. Again, I really hate this spell. It's the only one I actually don't like in all of the last spells. And then the third phase is a timeout. I really like this timeout. It's really cool. Really cool timeout. It has multiple phases, obviously. So, inevitably, the core of this attack is walls. The first phase is just blue walls. The second phase adds green walls, and then obviously on the third wave you're going to see red walls. The spell gets really tricky on the third wave because you get some really bad situations. And believe me, I have seen some pretty bad situations in this spell. To be honest, even though I like this spell, I do kind of feel like this spell is a bit bullshit, because I know it's not that bad, and I know that SS's hitboxes are forgiving, but I swear I have had some really ridiculous situations on that attack, so it can meme you. It really can. But I captured it this time, which is awesome. Didn't perfect Tensei, but that's fine. Pretty good stage 6 overall, and I got to show the last spell, and yeah, the ending is kind of glitched. I don't really know why. Probably because my translation patch is not updated, so it doesn't have updated endings. But I don't really care. So yeah, that was Shining Shooting Star, the second best fan game. I say that as if that's an objective fact. And its development has been going on since 2014, which is really awesome. It's a 2-year development gap, but they did a really good job with this game. Oh, the credits just ended. Oops. I wanted to see the rest of the credits. I wanted to see if H and Y's name appears on there. Oh well. Don't know why I saved the replay, but it's all good. So then, next time we'll be playing the extra stage, and we've got a lot to cover because, yeah, there's 4 characters, 4 different extra stage boss patterns, so don't know what I should do, because at the rate I'm going, it's going to be about 6 Tuesdays before we actually get to the other games, so I might just use Friday to cover the other extra bosses. I don't know if I'm going to do SSS this Friday. I always decide that on Thursday, but I might be doing SSS videos on Friday just so that I can keep up with everything, and I think that's a pretty good idea. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.